Welcome, welcome. Welcome to my desk. Today I'm crocheting this hat for my brother. And today I just wanted to talk about just certain things that are on my mind right now. Don't know what I specifically wanted to talk about, but I just know that I wanted to talk about something. So that's why I decided to turn on the camera. If you're wondering, I'm following the clover beanie pattern. I don't remember who created it, but I'll put their name somewhere on the screen and in the description if you want to buy the pattern. It's really easy to follow. I'm using this app called Row Counter, which allows you to more easily track your rows. Really love using it, especially when I'm doing patterns that have different stitches for every row. Enough of crochet, let me actually talk about what I came to talk about. What I mainly want to talk about, and something that's been on my mind a lot of recently, is how I think it's impossible to grow as an individual when you live at home. To some extent, hear me out. So I started, just the fact that I'm literally in my room whispering because I don't want someone to walk into the room and ask me what I'm doing, it tells you everything you need to know. I've been living at home since I graduated college in August of 2022. Right now it's January 2024. Almost this August will be 2 years of me living at home. And I feel, especially because just a lot of different circumstances of my relationship with my parents, I feel like sometimes I'm not allowed or given the space to grow as an actual adult. Hi, I'm mature. I'm 23, by the way. Because I feel like I need to remind people sometimes, because I sometimes feel like I'm being treated like a teenager. I'm the oldest. I was the oldest kid in the house of 4. All my siblings are now at the age where they're like mid to late teen years. So they're definitely, I don't know, reaping the benefits of what I had to go through as a child to be able to more enjoyably live their lives now. And of course I don't fault them to it because they haven't known anything different. I do sometimes resent the fact that they are able to develop and grow as individuals a little bit more than I was. I feel like I also put a lot of pressure on myself as the oldest daughter to be everything my parents wanted me to be and to make them happy and the career that I know they would be proud of me for doing, and just a lot of compromises that obviously they didn't ask me to make, but it was just an overarching pressure I felt just based off the circumstances of my family's roles, like when I was born and all that. So I bring up how I feel like it's impossible to grow as an adult when you live at home is because I think that I was able to grow up as a kid and as a teenager when I was at home, but it's really necessary for me to have that different environment now that I'm an adult and now that I'm, you know, supposed to be making my own decisions about how I want the rest of my life to go. And I think it's just important for me to be able to have the space, find out what I want to be true for myself, to find out what kind of values and beliefs I want to instill in my own personal self and not let it be something that was, I don't know, based on what my parents believed were right. Obviously, when you're a child, take everything your parents say as Bible and you take their word as like, no, this is like what is right and what is wrong. And obviously, when I was a teenager and when I was like growing up, there were times in my life when sometimes what my parents believed didn't match up with what I believed. And I think I also grew up in a way where I sometimes would feel like if I disagreed with them or if I thought differently than them, that was a bad thing, and that conflict and disagreeing with someone was a bad thing. But in reality, now that I've grown up, it's really important for you to not seek out conflict, but to be okay when it happens. And I think that sometimes when you live at home, under the same circumstances that you did when you were a teenager or a child, to keep the peace, to the way that your family was able to thrive and work together when you were a teenager is different than how it's supposed to be now. You're all different people. I was explaining this to my parents like this morning, how I don't like when people are always referring to me, Inshura, in the past. They're always talking about past Inshura, like, oh, Inshura, when you were a kid, this, and this, or when you were a teenager, this, and this. Like, me now and me then, we're two different people, and that's a good thing. And I think it's important to realize that maybe what worked when I was a teenager isn't gonna work now. And that's just something that I've had to come to terms with more recently, that you're going to disappoint your parents. And that's something that's really hard to remember, especially when all I've wanted, all most kids want, is that validation from their parents, for their parents to tell them that they're doing a good job, or that they're good people, or that you feel like you are making someone proud. And then now you're telling me that in order to grow, I'm gonna have to disappoint my parents, or I'm gonna have to like not care what they think in some regards, so that way I'm able to become more of a well-rounded person. Like, I don't want to hear that. Me who hates confrontation, and me who hates making people upset, like, I hated realizing that. I think I came to realize that disappointment is inevitable, that people being upset at you is inevitable, people disagreeing with you is inevitable, and you can't let the fear of that stop you from becoming who you're supposed to be, becoming the person that makes you your happiest. At the end of 2023, when I was thinking of certain things that I wanted to focus on for the year, I realized that a lot of the goals I had for myself weren't really tangible. It was just a lot of wanting to break out of my shell and become more sure of myself, and to focus more on what makes me happy as an individual, and not focusing so much on making sure that everyone else is comfortable. I think that's a really good goal to have, and I think especially with me these past couple of years living at home, it has even stressed to me even more how important it is for me to surround myself with people who uplift me and make me feel good about myself, and who make me remember that, I don't know, that my hobbies and my interests, that the things that bring me joy are okay, and that they're not weird, or they're not things that I should feel weird about. And just that people that remind me that I'm doing okay, and that I'm going at the pace that I'm supposed to be going. I really wanted to somewhat go out of my comfort zone, and for me, going out of my comfort zone really just meant disappointing my parents more. Obviously, I'm not doing anything crazy, I promise y'all. Like, I don't even be doing anything crazy, but I think fear of disappointment, fear of confrontation, of conflict has caused me to be in my shell so much, and I'm just not with it. 2024, Inshira is going to be outside, whether you like it or not. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop letting other people's feelings and beliefs and morals and whatever dictate what I do in my life. Obviously, like, I'm a Christian, and I believe in being a positive influence on the people around me, and living with the intent of living out the purpose that God has for your life. That is like something that's center of my being, of my core values. But I feel like I've allowed what other people tell me to be the final say in a lot of things. Some things you have to experience for yourselves, and you can't always take what everyone else says as Bible. Sometimes you have to go out and have the experiences, have the conversations, have the conflicts, have the experience to realize that this is what you want for your life, or is that this is what you find to be important, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a lot of word vomit. Okay, we're gonna call that the end. Thank you for hearing my word vomit. Thank you for hearing my journal entry. Will it make sense? Will I post this? Who knows? Because I don't want... That's another thing. I don't like being questioned all the time. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.